Welcome back. Imagine it's late at night and you get a phone call saying your grandchild is being held in a jail in Mexico and you need to send $10,000 right away so they can be released on bond. This is the grandparent scam. It has been around for years because it works. And it works because of the emotions it triggers. Laura.
Yeah, I mean, most scams work on our emotions. The biggest emotion usually is fear, and what could be more precious to, a grandparent than their grandkid's safety? So, I think in those examples, it hijacks that higher order thinking like we talked about, and it's an emotional, impulsive decision. There's often a sense of time pressure that the scammers use that get the grandparents to send the money right away. So I really encourage Zoomers to make sure that they're slowing down if they get a call like that and checking with the family about the veracity of what the scammer's saying.
It's been around for years, Carmi, but it's gotten an update because, I was wondering how is it if, it doesn't sound like the grandchild that the grandparents fall for it, but there's an app for that.
Yeah, it used to be that, you get the call and you don't actually speak to your grandchild, but they tell you your grandchild's in a cell and I'm the lawyer that's been hired to help them and I'm going to get them out, but you need to send me the money now. Now, the technological wrinkle here is that the voice processing, voice cloning technology driven by artificial intelligence is becoming widely available. It's cheap, it's easy, it's an app. And guess what? Scammers can use it just as easily as we can. And so what they will do is they will grab a snippet of your grandchild's voice online, and they'll use it to train the app, and then they can actually create any deep faked audio of your grandchild saying whatever they want them to say. Grandma, I'm in a jail cell, please give them the money and just get me out and I'll see you tomorrow. That kind of thing. And it's terrifying because it sounds incredibly real. So it drives that emotional pressure up and it makes the victim more likely to actually reach into their wallet and start pulling cash out.
David, how has COVID exacerbated the grandparent scam?
Well, COVID isolated all of us, and it isolated grandparents from their grandchildren and from their sons and daughters. So that it gave us more of a relevance on our cell phones and on our social media, on our computers to communicate. We don't talk on landlines very much anymore. So it's this sense of isolation, I think, is the biggest vulnerability that they have. And so when a grandchild or somebody calls them who says they're a grandchild that they may not have talked to in 2 or 3 years, they may be fooled by the voice, or the person may have an explanation as to why their voice is different. It's just created a bigger gap in them being able to stop it. They use these pressure tactics again, and they use words like, don't tell anybody else about this or else I won't get out of jail. They hand the phone over to somebody else who says, this is an OPP officer or an RCMP officer or a Toronto police officer. He's going to talk to you now and give you instructions and things like that. Once the grandparent hands over literally a bag of cash at their door to these couriers, the next day they call back saying, now he needs more. Oftentimes that's when we're able to intercept them on the second time, because after the first time they realize, after they've given away this cash, that they've been scammed. They may have reached out to their grandchild or their son or daughter and realized it. But the first time is often, the money's gone.
And to your point that you're saying a lot of these things are overseas. I don't think the data supports that. And to your point, there's somebody on these grandparent scams, there's somebody that actually goes to the door, and it's not a FedEx or a DHL. There's an individual that goes to a door and collects the money. But again, these things are not prosecuted, Libby.
There's more after the break. Don't go away.